To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program.
Bored housewives, so they're generally hitting the Moscato too because they need something sweet in their lives because their husband is sour. That ring on your finger? Some pygmy died digging that out of a hole for you to say I do and ruin some guy's like, look at that dude. He's got a hernia that's shaped like a bag of pretzels that he just ate. You're going to Thailand, you're going to smash some dude. Going over there for guy time, but it's not with his buddies. What does it say on the bottle? Well, if it says that on the bottle, why did you put it on your head? All these actors did was shut their mouths because they didn't want to be run out of Hollywood. Now a bad batch of Chinese food has you blowing insurance premiums on vitamin fucking D.
Too much.
That's what we're
I
going
sound like
for
Bill
here.
Maher. Really, John? Really?
We can't do this anymore, Auntie. I'll see you at the bar mitzvah. It's almost like it never existed, but it fucking did. So do me a favor. Go yourself.
Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, reporting here from the Spare Parts Studio. Oh, this is it. This is the one. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been good sometimes. But we are here. Well, I am at least. I am recording from nothing more than a desk with a computer in front of it. What you see behind me is all that is left in this little room that I have taken up refuge in since March of this year. And if it wasn't for my own hard work and perseverance, and then for it to succeed, and some of the God, I can't wait to fix this fucking thing. Oh well, whatever. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Let's just go with it. It hasn't been. Look, it just hasn't been easy. I don't need no Q&A this week. I don't need anything. No crazy ass articles. Just my own personal interest in just reflecting on the past year, as I have been doing since I started podcasting again. At least in a better mood. If it wasn't for my own perseverance and some of the and some really crucial assistance from others, I wouldn't have been able to be as fortunate in my victory as I was. And then from there, having the motivation to open up to the world the way I did. I mean, a lot of people can't do that. That's a hard thing to do. You know, I had a macho dad. I didn't have the most information growing up about the world, about how cruel it could be. I just had some random stories. I didn't have that, if-then... I didn't have a lot of if-then scenarios put into my head before I went off to college. I kind of had to figure this shit out on my own. And now looking back on all of that to get to where I am today, it's absolutely baffling. But moving, once again, back to the seacoast. Now, remember, for those of you just trying to understand what's going on, this has been my dream for over 10 years. This has been my dream for 10 years, to live by the seacoast. And I got there, and then it was taken away, and more than that was taken away. A lot more than that. But now that I'm going back, at least for a short period of time, for the next 9 months, and then we'll see what happens from there. But to be able to not have to deal with this stupid real estate market, to not have to deal with the crazy rent right now, at least, to not have to deal with long ass drives, or stupid traffic, or just a lot of the stress of having a legal situation to deal with, or any attachments, or any debt. It's just me and how much fuel I have left in me. And all I have is basically the energy that's in my body, the dog by my side, and a pretty good fucking credit score. But it's just going to be me and Chase down there. That's it. No foreseen distractions, no taking chances on red flags. I just went down there and I officially grabbed the key. That was what did it for me. That's what made it all kind of come together. It's like, you did this, you accomplished this, you're going back. Now, what's going to happen next year, I don't know. But with this real estate market that's happening right now, with the whole variant situation and the awful leadership, bullshit scientists like Anthony Fauci, and the fear-mongering in the news, and just the overall poor sense of direction coming from anybody of authority. It's like, why would I take information from anything that's considered mainstream at this point? Why would I take any leadership from anything that's considered mainstream? Why would I take any mandates or executive actions to force me to live a certain way that comes from the mainstream? I won't do that. I've never been about that. I've always had a problem with taking I've never had a problem with taking orders. Well, not orders, but direction. But I've always had a problem with when I smelled abusive authority. The minute I smelled abuse of power in that authority, I checked out. Completely checked out. And I would distance myself as much as possible from that situation. You know, I tried with the real estate market. It was a shit show. I wasn't going to settle. Like, I know people that are still doing the runaround with this whole real estate thing. I checked right out. I gave it 2 shots. It was bullshit both times. I checked right out. I don't want any part of it right now. I'm basically a sniper hunting with 1 bullet, and I have to wait for a clean shot. I've always skated on thin ice, but I've always managed to figure it out. There's always been avenues of options if you search really hard enough. And to be satisfied with how the end of this year has turned out, I mean, believe me, it was a costly bill emotionally. But, man, what an adventure it has been. And what are you doing, buddy? Relax. Lay down. It's okay. We're going away this weekend. As we always do. I've reconnected with family. I've been able to leave money in the stock market. I've been able to consolidate. I've been able to take care of my vehicles. I've been able to take care of myself. These are important things that I know I've been a little maybe preachy or inner inner self, looking at your inner self the past couple weeks as far as just trying to piece random thoughts together instead of reading silly news articles. But there's I see a lot of this, especially on like dig.com or just Google News, and it's awful. It's absolutely terrible. The amount of misinformation that is out there, just bad information, or just, well, I don't even want to call it misinformation because that word has been so tossed around now. To that point, it's basically dead. It's like being called racist. It has no value anymore. None whatsoever. So it's like, let me think about this for a second. The amount of agenda-based articles or blogs or whatever you want to call them now. It's basically, the article could be so disconnected from the title of the article, and then the title of the article could be so misleading, and then there's just so many op-ed pieces, but they're not even op-ed pieces. It's not even an insinuation. It's like, we should do this. It's like an advocation for something negative. An advocation to make our situation less free. Our situation, like, I don't want to I read these articles and it's all like, it's all about fear. They're just shoving it down your throat. Like, okay, so let me put it to you this way. There's all this bullshit out there about the stock market and the pandemic and the politics and our foreign wars and all that other stuff that's attached to it. In the meantime, I've been getting up every day early, doing what I need to do like I've always done. My morning routine hasn't changed a bit. Before this all started, after this all, when it started, and after, until today. Before COVID, during COVID, after COVID. And with my whole life scenario being flipped upside down. Still got up early. Still drank coffee like I always did. Still fasting for 12 hours. I did all of that. Whatever news cycles was going on, whoever was accusing who of lying under oath, whatever is happening in Australia, Afghanistan, I have avoided all of it simply by not going on Twitter, because I don't have Twitter anymore. Simply by not watching the news. Because when you say, I watch the news, what is that? CNN, Fox News, MSNBC? What? This is not news anymore. Matter of fact, when did it stop being? Doesn't matter. This stuff isn't real. It's not real. At all. Don't get me wrong. I personally don't have a problem with Tucker Carlson. I know he's kind of a fearmonger, according to some people. I don't personally care. No offense to Tucker. I just don't want to watch his show, per se, like, I watch his show every day, or I watch his show every day. It's just, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. No disrespect towards him. I don't want to do that. That's just not, I can't. I'm sorry. I know maybe if I agree with a couple things that he says or whatever, the next thing you know, I'm going down, I don't know what that was. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't want to have gateway news. You know? Because I know my tendencies. I know how my brain works. I spent a lot of time inside of my own brain trying to figure out the mappings of it. And I just know how my brain works. I know I don't like to be told what to do. I know I don't like taking no for an answer. I know I have, different dimensions of my head as far as activities I like to do and adventures I like to get myself into. You know? I know that I'm an extremely emotional person. Extremely. I just know. I'm not afraid to show my emotions. I'm not afraid to be who I am. I am appreciative. I know sometimes I'm a bit sloppy-minded. I look at all these things, but I know that if I keep just, if I just keep moving the steps forward, if I keep stepping forward, I can accomplish something. I may not be able to accomplish everything before I go to bed, but I know I can accomplish multiple things before I do so. But I've stopped watching the news. I've stopped watching sports a long time ago. I've eliminated all these things. I've removed streaming platforms from my lifestyle. I've reconnected with a value system, a strong value system, like hanging out with family, introducing them to Chase, because this guy's practically my son. Oh, I raised you from the, teaching good values that I've learned from working with nonprofits and stuff. Learning to respect people's opinions when they offer it. But I've also tried to steer clear of it. I've really tried to keep things super light with people, and I know I see how people look at me, maybe if I'm going grocery shopping or if it's like a neighbor down the street or something like that, and it's like, okay, well, as long as they're being nice to me, I have no other reason to be anything other than courteous to them. I know how people are trying to, I come across as brash at times, or, you see me, you know what box I'm in. And you know what? That's fine. Perception is reality. If you see me and you automatically put me in a box, that's fine. You should totally do that. You should. If you think of me a certain way from the moment you see me, and you put me in that box, that's good. At least you know what box to put me in, and then you can approach me from that angle and see how I respond. Just have I guess what I'm trying to say is, have low expectations of me, and then see if I am at least approachable from that angle. If I'm approachable from that angle, and it's like, you know what, he's not as shitty or as stubborn as I thought he was, maybe that's a win. Maybe you do learn something from me. Maybe you learn how to make frittatas, or maybe you, I don't know, learn how to fucking upload a YouTube video, or I don't know, just something. You know, you learn a little about me, or you learn a little bit about yourself. But I keep it super simple. I kept it super simple by ignoring everything I knew was just a distraction for more than 1 hour. Anything that is more than 1 hour of me not doing anything is obviously a distraction. You know, podcasts are super valuable because I can always be on the move. So, you know, investing in the stock market is another thing because that could be on the go too. That's awesome for me. Learning, another thing about learning, I try to keep it short and to the point. I mean, do I feel bad for people right now? Yeah, I do. People that are not fortunate enough to be in my position where they don't have to be hunting around in the stock market, overspending. They're not stuck in Afghanistan waiting for some flight that will never come. They're not stuck in Australia for some bullshit lockdown mandates because they don't have you know, the Second Amendment or, you know, the First Amendment. They basically just stuck there, mandated because they have no choice. Have you seen the shit that's going on there? You know, that's not news. That's just happening. It's just, that's how it is. Personally, we should just invade Australia. We obviously did a terrible job with it, you know, but, you know, it just, the people are suffering. They're stuck there. They're being forced to do certain things. And it's like, well, maybe we should just invade. Just invade Australia. Fuck it. What else are we going to do? We're obviously Americans and we're bored. We obviously don't give a shit anymore. We think the whole pandemic is over, which it basically is. Have you seen the football? College football, I really don't care, but have you seen the fucking arenas? They are jam-packed. And these college football stadiums are a lot of them are larger than regular NFL stadiums. They're like 80 to 100,000 strong. And they're jam-packed. Jam-packed. People don't give a shit. And there's not a single face covering in sight. Nobody gives a shit. Nope, they're done. They are so checked out from listening to the bullshit news or this fucking retard Anthony Fauci or any type of leadership or quote leadership that is authoritarian that we're completely checked out, telling us what we have to do. We don't want to, and we don't have to. We literally don't have to do anything that you say anymore. We don't. I don't. I chose a state. I have two options, basically, of where I choose to go. Or I can pack it. People don't realize how flexible you can be when the boot is really in your ass. That's the thing. If you really had to leave your state, you could. If you had to leave your town, you could. If you wanted to leave your job, you could. There's so much that you can do. So much. And I made that choice this year by just saying, you know what, fuck it. This is what I want, and I'm going to do everything in my power to get it. Once somebody lit the fuse inside me, lit that fire, lit that pilot light, and said, this is the direction you should go in, I was all in. I was all in. And now I mean, obviously it was from one scramble to another scramble to another scramble. But look, since 2016, ever since I got my own place back, it's always been thin ice for me. You know, having to sell this, get this tightened up, get a voucher, get a reference, get signed on, sign this, move that. And it's always been that. It's always been that. And I'm sure it'll continue to be that over the next couple of years. I'm sure it will. But this movement, I mean, has only made me stronger. I wish I would have done this sooner. I really wish. I really wish. The thing is, I didn't know about people like Grant Cardone back when I was 20. I didn't know that, you know, if you save like the 10% rule, the 20% rule, and putting $5,000 away. I mean, was it really possible? Yeah, if you just stopped spending your money on bullshit. I didn't know. No clue whatsoever. So I wish that would have known all this stuff sooner. But I mean, I can't beat myself up over this. I did a pretty good job this year figuring shit out and being in a position where it's like I have to look at it this way. I wake up to my best friend every single day. I have money coming in every single week. I have no bills. I got a cell phone bill and a very tiny, tiny, tiny car insurance bill. I have 2 cars. Two cars. I have a place all to myself for the next 9 months in a area that I hold so dear to my heart. I get to live life in a simple but very flexible and enjoyable manner. And just cut out all the bullshit. I wish people would start doing that as well. I wish people would stop with these foolish fucking codependent relationships. I wish they would stop lying to themselves. I wish they would just stop spending their whole lives on like a fucking app trying to find the next, relationship when they haven't cleaned themselves up from the night before. I wish people would take better care of themselves. Stop relying on the government to come with a needle and save you. I wish people would do that. I wish people would listen to their instincts. There's so much more that you can do for yourself. There's so much more that you can accomplish simply by saying, no. No, I won't do it. No, I will not comply. The only thing that should matter is you. And I don't mean that in a brutally selfish way. There are ways that you can be selfless by being selfish. When you focus on yourself and you take care of yourself, you're better off to the world. Because then the world doesn't have to take your weight. Like, the world doesn't... I don't rely on the world. I do my thing. That's it. There's no government checks coming in here. None. None whatsoever. I mean, there was the stimulus thing, but that was a 1 in a million thing. But I'm not reliant on the government to live my life in any capacity. I mean, if this whole world goes to hell, there's going to be opportunity in it. This apocalypse for profit is real. I anticipate some type of catalyst. Really, I do. I anticipate like everything. Though the market is teetering on all-time highs and this thing and that thing, it's like something is happening. Something's coming. I don't know what it is. Now, I get it. Like, I'm in a position where I get to watch from the sidelines for the next 9 months and see what takes place. Just gonna watch from an angle of what's really going on. Not the surface level news. That's what everybody's watching, the surface level news. That's like I heard somebody who heard from somebody. That's what the news is. A source, a source of a source. That's what it is. You got to ignore all that shit. I can't imagine how many people turn on fucking news in the morning and how much garbage you're digesting. Like, but yet, I see people in bad coffee drive-thrus just lined up 15 deep. I don't know if people will ever get it. I don't know if people will ever appreciate the simplicity of doing the simplicity and the satisfaction of doing things yourself. I don't know. I see it, but maybe I shake my head, but maybe I keep moving because I know I'm off to a better place. I can't save the world when it's on fire. The world's on fire right now, and it's only going to get crazier. I'm waiting for that catalyst so that I can do something that benefits me. And if you were watching from my angle, you'd be doing the same thing. Quite frankly, I wouldn't want to live in a city right now. I know that there are other podcasters and other comedians and other people that love living in a city. I totally get it. There's an energy, there's a vibe to living in a city. I've hung out in New York City. I've hung out in Palm Beach, San Francisco, Los Angeles. I've hung out in these places. Believe me, I understand that energy. And of course in my town that I lived in for like fucking 10 years, 13 years. I also know that when the shit hits the fan, the cities are the first to get hit. They are. It takes a lot of work to get food and power and compliance into a city. It takes a lot of work. When that falls apart, the city... I mean, there could be a garbage strike in New York City, the whole place will collapse. Garbage will pile up in the street. It's happened many times before. Power goes out, the whole city riots. And right now that city's a mess. San Francisco is a mess. It's just, it's like, right now in San Francisco, it's like a thin layer of grease. They just can't wipe it off. New York, it's obvious. LA, it's unavoidable. So, I just want to avoid any variable that could put me in a bad situation. Whatever it is. I want to be in a place that's as calm as could be, that makes me as calm as could be, so I can focus on one thing. Continuing to create and deliver as much content as possible. That I can explore the ideas inside my head. And not just where I said this one time, there are two kinds of people in this world. Those who are meant to live life and those who are meant to capture life. So in front of the lens and behind the lens. And I want to be a person who can achieve both. I spent so much time behind the camera that I haven't learned to live life in front of it. The whole point of going to the ocean is exactly that. But I want to portray how much joy I get from being there. Now, my ultimate goal is, whatever happens in this past 9 months, to continue to work towards staying there in the long term. And if I can't, okay, well, I'll figure it out then. I'll cross that bridge, ultimately, in 9 months. But not next month. Not the month after that, and not the month after that. I get to have a peace of mind. Or I get to have a piece of my mind back for the time being. So that I can at least tell you that everything's okay. That is the important thing. Everything's okay. The music's on. The coffee's good. And life is fine. While there's complete chaos around me, I'm in a state of peace. That is... I mean, when I did that episode, Event Horizon, back in February, couldn't foresee what was going to take place, but I had a feeling. But man, was I was fucking right. And I won't ever backtrack on anything I've said, because I was right. I was right. I wish more people would stand their ground, as I have, as others have. This apologizing bullshit. Thinking that you're guilty for everything. This doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. It shouldn't work for you. It's unacceptable. We as individuals have dreams from the moment we're born. And it's our job as humans, as individuals, to pursue those dreams. It's not the company you work for telling you how you should act and do things. They're only acting in their own best interests. The company's image. your church's image, your family's image, your state's image, not yours. They have their own agenda. You have yours as an individual. That's it. And all you have is your experiences. Do you really want to work 90 hours a week? If you're working fucking 90 hours a week, you should be doing it for your own company with your own business title. There is no reason why you should be working 60, 70, 80 hours a week for not your business. If you're working anything more than 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, you should be taking in 100% of the profits. 100% of the profits and reinvesting it into your business, into your life. Nobody else should be taking that. None. I don't care. I don't care if you're a nurse. I don't care if you're a lawyer. Oh, a lawyer in a firm. If you're a partner, that's one thing. That's different. But no way. No way. Remember, after $100,000, the diminishing return thing is real. How hard do you want to? How hard do you want to work for somebody else when you know if you're willing to work that hard, that you could be doing that in your own company? Granted, you'll be making not a lot of money in the beginning, or no money in the beginning, but if you have the idea of how to apply all that energy, why wouldn't you do it yourself? I mean, the power of technology right now to do your own business, not just technology, but effort in general. I mean, I'm seeing a guy this week dropping my Mustang off to, he's doing like a conditioning and all this other stuff to it that's going to make it look, showroom floor. He charges people like $400. He doubles when he does the sand job to them. That's like $900. This guy does this out of his own garage. He's got a beautiful house and a big piece of property. Doesn't answer to nobody. Lives his life the way he wants to because he's willing to work that hard and meet clients on a Saturday or on a Sunday. He doesn't fucking answer to anybody. Anyone. I mean, you could work 5 to 7 years at a company making a ton of money, but working your fucking ass off. But at the end, you're gonna burn out eventually. But just before you burn out, quit and go seek those dreams and invest in properties and invest in stock and just let your money start to ramp up and work for you and become a juggernaut of your own pursuit of meaning and happiness of life. Not just constantly grinding day in and day out. That's a 9 Inch Nails song, man, and it ain't freaking pretty. You don't want to be going through that bullshit. You don't want to be doing that. I'm keeping things mad simple. And I think I'm going to live by that task forever and a day. I'll have to make some sacrifices along the way when it comes to relationships and traveling and other crazy fucking, I don't know, what do you call it, like I don't know, magic moon trips or whatever. I don't know, just stuff. It's like, nah, not right now, because I've spent a long time planning this. Well, I need to execute it, and I need to let it breathe. So, and I've been more places than a lot of people in the world. I've been all across the United States. I've felt the water of the Rio Grande to my up to my waist as I walked across the border into Mexico. I've done that. I got lost in South Central Los Angeles in Compton in a fucking blue Chevy Malibu with a bad GPS and a red-headed white girl in the car. I've been through San Francisco and gone through the red light district at 3 a.m. in the morning. I've done that. Palm Beach, Miami, New York. I've seen a ton. I do look forward to having more crazy travel experiences, but It all can't come at once. And I've got a lot more life to live. But I have the joys of waking up with my best friend every day. I have the joys of being healthy. And taking my own health into my own hands. Constantly learning and reading and listening. I've come to an understanding of, I know what's real. I know what root turns into a tree. So that information that I soak in, I know how to build upon that and really create a health and wellness lifestyle for myself that's very easy to abide by. There are some things that are outside of my control. Well, I mean, the sleep thing I could probably do a better job with. But, dental work, I'm finally tackling that. Taking responsibility for that, because that's my thing. So it's like, okay, well, what's the next step after this? How am I going to approach the podcast, the music reactions, the original YouTube channel, my articles, my posing music, my clients? How am I going to approach all this? Is it going to be a fresh set of eyes, or is it going to be a struggle? Am I going to still have a hard time figuring out what to talk about in this podcast? Am I going to stay true to its original format, or a portion of that format? Am I going to be able to continue all this stuff? I'm going to try. All I can do is try, and try as hard as I can. I would love to start creating new content for the original channel, and I think I will. I have an idea, and I'll pursue it and see where it goes. The posing music stuff, that will continue. The articles, they've kind of dissipated over the years. Every now and then they pop up. The music reactions, they're fresh, so I'll continue to churn them out as much as I can. The podcast, try to do it once a week. I mean, I know it's been a little preachy lately, but you know what? My brain chemistry's changed over the last 6 to 8 months because it's been really hard for me. It's been incredibly hard for people who have been watching, who are wondering where I was going to be next. But we'll see what goes on. We'll see what takes place. I've been relatively good about not trying to attack lots of celebrities. I've been very good about not diving too much into certain topics. But I know bullshit when I see it. I'm trying not to be a sound, just another sound out there that is talking about the same shit that everybody else. Like, I was listening to one podcast, they were talking about the new Drake and the new Kanye album. I don't care. Those guys are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Kanye's worth a couple billion. Freaking Drake's worth a couple $100 million. Great. I don't care. It means nothing to me. Nothing whatsoever. I mean, I enjoyed listening to the banter about it, but it doesn't translate here. It doesn't do anything for me. I haven't really seen a lot of celebrity gossip because I don't pay attention to what a lot of celebrities have to say. A lot of what celebrities have to say is, quite frankly, stupid. You're actors. You act. Celebrities like the Kardashians, who cares? Doesn't matter to me one bit. But I've talked about it in some capacity in the past, and I only approach the topic when I think it's of a significant value. But other than that, it's like, what else can I be diving into? I don't want to be beating on the same drum every single time. I want to be an inspiration for those, well, if you have a dream and you wish to pursue it, well, you are able to. You are totally able to do that. I'm an example of that. If you really work towards something and you're aimed single-mindedly at it, you can accomplish it. You can really do it. You can really do it. I did it. You can. All you have to, if you have questions or concerns or whatever, you can just email me, message me. It's like, this is what I want to do. And I was like, all right, I will tell you what you need to do in order to get the basics down, the foundation of where you want to go. You might be surprised and annoyed about how simple it is. will only fail if you don't apply that information. I mean, there are some variables. There are definitely some variables, okay? This whole vaccine shit, that's a variable. However, like if you're a federal worker, I feel bad for you right now. I really do. My advice to you, if you're a federal worker, fucking quit. If you're a federal worker and you don't want to deal with that bullshit anymore, I would quit. I'd absolutely quit and go find another position. I'm sure there's somebody out there that is willing to pay you. And that's what I would do. If I was a federal employee right now, I would quit my job. Absolutely. 100%. Because I have this problem. I have a problem with authority. I have a problem with abuse of authority. I will always have a problem with abuse of authority. It's in my blood. Big time. So, and I urge you, if you have a problem with abuse of authority, you need to put your feet to the ground. You need to hold the line. You need to say, no, I'm not doing this. And that's it. That's it. Your dreams should never be stomped on. Your dreams should always be yours and yours alone. Now, there are people that can come into your life and sit alongside parallel to it, but you should never take a chance, take a shortcut. You should be willing to build things mostly from the ground up. Now, obviously, I have a lot of fears about certain things, about sharing certain things right now. Rightfully so. But I think at this point it's too far gone to be like, well, I'm not going to step back on those. It's like, no, this is how I am now. This is how I am now. This is not going to stop me from learning and evolving. But there are ways in my life that these are the rules of getting to know me. And that's all. Don't take offense to it, because, well, you're only going to lose out. It's your problem, not mine. I don't care. I'm going to be able to wake up every day and do the things that I want to do. And if you're not cool with it, fine. And this is basically this is a little Surgeon General warning for people I have yet to meet. That this is just how I am going forward. I will be doing only what I want to do. Imagine that. I'm going to do what I want to do and nothing else. Now, what does that entail? I'm going to do only what I want to do. Well, what is it that I want to do? I want to be a good example of somebody who makes smart decisions. I want to be an example of somebody who is responsible. I want to be somebody who looks like they put in a lot of effort to the things that they do. Somebody who looks intelligent. Somebody who dresses proper. Somebody who looks good. Somebody who can offer good information, detailed information. Somebody who can be a guiding light. Somebody who is a dream seeker and achieves dreams. Somebody who keeps things simple, tries not to overcomplicate things. Somebody who's helpful. These are things that I want to do. I didn't know how to make coffee myself until last year. But I learned from somebody, and now I know how to make coffee from scratch. Literally roasting the beans. Because I just learned. And I took the extra time to do it. And it doesn't, when it's all said and done, it doesn't take a long time. It doesn't at all. And now it's a fabric of my week is roasting coffee. It's amazing. It's a fabric of my week. I mean, ever since I got Chase back, it's like, well, am I going to feed him regular dog food? No. Now he's going to get real food. This guy eats fucking like I do. He eats tuna and salmon and sardines and ground beef and chicken and California medley like broccoli, cauliflower, carrots. And he eats All of it. He eats peanut butter. He loves it. It's just because that's what he deserves. That's what he wants. He wants to be, walked and played with and, affectionate. He wants that. He deserves that. I want that. I deserve that. And this is our pursuit of doing the things that we want to do. The things that make us feel good inside. The things that make us, when we wake up in the morning, we know we're in the right spot. When we go to bed, we know we did the right things. I didn't have to lie. I didn't have to lie, cheat, or steal in order to get here. My position in life is strictly because of my decisions of working hard. I'm not some Gordon Gekko, greed is good. I'm only asking for a little plot of space in life. And look, I'm only a few lucky strokes away from achieving that. I truly, I am. You have to tune in that radio just a little bit better. Get rid of some of that static, and you'll be able to see some things coming where you could take advantage of it. And put a little bit here and a little bit there, like investing. That's another thing. I wish there was a little bit more for me. Sadly, this year it didn't pan out, where I ended up with a fifth of what I wanted to invest. But I still have that fifth, and I did invest it, and it is there. So I'm just kind of keeping it there. But, this was a situation where, I'm looking at empty walls, empty floor. It's like, where am I going next? I'm going to the ocean with my best friend. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I never thought that this podcast would be something self-reflecting and deep, and at times very emotional, and at times barely coherent, as it is now. But, like I said, it's just another spectrum of this website. Sometimes it's silly, sometimes it's ridiculous, sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's angry, sometimes it's just fucking goofy. But it depends on the environment, depends on the walls, depends on what's outside. You adapt to it, and your world changes because of it. I don't know what the podcast is going to sound like when it's down by the ocean. No clue. It could completely change. We'll see. And I'll let it happen. If it changes, I'll let it happen. If it works, I'll let it happen. That's okay. I mean, this spot for the last 8 months has not been comfortable at all. Like, it's just not comfortable. I'm leaning wrong. My neck hurts. It's not easy. And I've had to adjust my hours. I've had to cut down the time that I actually do this. But I haven't missed a week. As awful as it's been at times, I haven't missed time. I've made it work. I've tried to stay on point and making sure that I get the stuff out there so that my brain can reset for the next day and continue to work and research and develop. I mean, it took long enough, but I finally got the music reaction channel up and running. Finally. Took me long enough, but now I've turned it out. And I've got a lot of videos already up. I made it work. I figured it out. And it was hard in the beginning because my sound equipment is not great. Matter of fact, I probably will be making a computer switch here in the future. I'll probably be doing that. But we'll see. We'll see. I want to do some testing, and I'll have, thankfully, some time to finally do some testing of my equipment, because it's been kind of ragtag since I got here. So, I think I've officially run out of gas for this chapter in my life. Quite frankly, I'm about ready to sign the bill on this one, and get ready for the next one. So, yeah, I guess that's it. I'm I'm moving to the ocean next week. I'll probably be offline for, I'd say, a week or two at the most. That's it. And then I'll come right back. I promise. I promise this time. I promise. It's gonna be a couple weeks at the most, and I'll be right back. Okay? I mean it. We'll pick up where we left off. I'll give you a brief synopsis of what took place in my hiatus. We'll see if the world is still turning by the time I get back, and we'll go from there. I just want to say to whichever channel you subscribe to, whomever has donated, whomever has invited me to their get-togethers or has sent me love and support, I just want to say thank you. You have, maybe it would have been all for naught if I had not gotten my best friend back. But the fact is I listened to some of you who had the information I needed. And to those people, I say, you have helped me down a very difficult path. And you've helped me do something that I've never done in my entire life. You've helped me win. I've never won anything in my life. Never. So you don't win third place. You get third place. You get second place. This year, I lost something significant, but I won something incredible. And now I've won my independence. And I can't thank you enough for those who have gotten me to this point. Who kept me afloat, who allowed me to fight, and allowed me to win. I thank you a ton. That's it. I'll talk to you all in a couple weeks from the I don't know what we'll call it. It won't be the Spare Parts Studio. It'll probably be I guess we'll call it the Oceanside Rental or the Seacoast Rental or something like that. We'll figure it out, but we'll be there. Yeah. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, message me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com, or you can email me through my website. Support the channel, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Just go right to my website. You can click on the contact/donate section, and you can donate right there. It's much appreciated. Everything on my channel is, everything on my website's free. So, please, take advantage of it. Questions, concerns, comments, email me directly, or just put a subject there, and or contact me through my website if you want. Hit up my channels, Positive Sarcasm Podcast, and of course Positive Sarcasm Reactions, my new music channel. And social media, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook.com/POS Sarcasm, Facebook.com/Positive Sarcasm. You can message me through there too if you want. And of course Instagram, @positive_sarcasm. And we'll see how much more I can softly open up this this project to the world. But you know how to find me, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again for however you are in my life. Can't thank you enough. Probably never stop thanking you. So, pursue your dreams. I'll talk to y'all in a couple weeks. Recorded here for the final time from this Spare Parts Studio. This has been a Positive Sarcasm presentation.